This was not the way I was planning on spending a Friday night. This was not the way I was planning on spending a Friday night. I was planning on just sitting back, relaxing, watching a little bit of a show, meditating and praying at the very ending, just doing some reading, just chilling and just relaxing. But no, I got a phone call tonight from a pastor who apparently saw the post I put the other night about the verse in Joshua, about serving the Lord. You heard my post. If not, you can go back and check the links. I put it on there, and then it talks about how much joy that God had in serving us. And this pastor called me up, and he said, son, I listened to that message. Do you know how many people are going to get turned away from God because of what you said in that message? And I said, no. Are you more worried about how many people are going to get turned away from your church by how many people listen to that message? Silence on the other end. I had to listen carefully to make sure I wasn't hearing make sure I was hearing background noise to make sure he hadn't hung up the phone. I said, sir, are you still there? Sir, are you still there? Yes, I'm still here. I said, okay. I answered your question with a question. Let me hear what you have to say, please. I said, look, I know you feel that you're doing the right thing, but how do you know that you're doing the right thing? I said, because I talk with God. I hear him every single day. You talk with God? Yes, sir. And how do you do that? With prayer. How do you do it? Again, silence. At this point, I was almost like flabbergasted. I'm like, I can't believe I'm having this conversation. This is insane. I said, I want to hear what this guy has to say. I don't even know if he's a real pastor or not, but it sounds like he is. He says, I don't know who you are, where you come from, but I would love to know how you're getting your information. Are you getting it just from what you're reading in the Bible? Or are you getting it from your feelings? I'm like, you're partially correct. It is from what I'm reading in the Bible, but it is also from what I am experiencing with my Father and what I am understanding by reading the Bible based on my experiences, because they are cross-connecting when they work in conjunction together, because the Bible is the affirmation of who God is. We don't worship a book, sir. I know you're a pastor and I respect you. I don't know what church you're a member or you're a pastor of, and I'm not going to do anything to denigrate. I will not mention your name or your church in this. I will post this conversation. I can promise you that, because this is too good not to share. But I can tell you 100% that the truth about God is based on an experience, because he is a person. We don't experience it based on what is written. We base it on what we know of a person. The Bible is an affirmation of who he is. I got a little loud in my response, pretty much how I spoke just now. And he was being quiet. He was letting me continue to speak. I said, sir, I was not raised the son of a pastor. I was not raised in a religious atmosphere. But when you read the Bible, and if you want to just take into account strictly on how you interpret what you're reading in the pages, you can pull people like Abraham. You can pull people like Joseph, like David. People like Paul, who was originally a Pharisee. Normally, if the road to Damascus did not happen, he would have been condemned and dismissed as a Pharisee and discarded. But God used him based on everything he had done beforehand. We only base it on what we've read in there. We don't know everything that he's done. It is clear that he had persecuted Christians very, very strongly up to that point. And then God turned him around completely, and then he wrote half of the New Testament. Oh my gosh. If Paul was in today's world, sir, I promise you, he would not even be considered even a candidate, a possible candidate to be heard at all, based on his previous experiences, because everything that he would have done would have been broadcasted on social media, on the internet, on TV. He would have been shoved to the side, but no. And he engaged he had a lot of opposition, not just from the Pharisees, but also too from Christians at that time. Peter was originally against him. The apostles were originally against him. They said, don't believe, look what he did. But yet God used him. And he did it in such a radical way and changed, it just completely shifted the total horizon of how we look at Christ right now. Paul was so radical in his teachings. And it was based on experiences that he had with God through Christ. We have experiences through him. The Bible is a guide, and it's extremely valuable. I've had people come at me before and tell me that you're being a Bible basher. No, I'm not. I've never bashed the Bible at all. I've never bashed the churches. I bashed the system, but I haven't bashed churches as a whole. There are some great churches out there, and the Bible is extremely important. We need to do that, but we need to look it through the eyes and through the lenses of his heart, not through the eyes of our own understanding. Because the eyes of our own understanding leads to misinterpretation. That's what's going on in churches these days. When you're listening to my message about letting God shower his love on us, we cannot show people who God is unless we let him see his heart. We don't just show the cross, because the cross is misinterpreted. The cross can be seen as Romans' brutality against him, and say, oh, well, he said he was God, but they killed him anyway. But he rose on the third day, or so they said. They're just basing on all this kind of thing, just piecemeal. The people who truly preached the true message of God based it on experiences that they had with him through prayer, through their understanding of who they know who God is. Jesus said, my people perish due to a lack of knowledge. The lack of knowledge is the lack of knowledge that we have of his heart. We have to know who God is in order to preach who he is. We don't preach on what we think he is. No one's going to believe that, because then they're going to look to see who you are. If you're going to preach who you think somebody is. But if you preach on who you know somebody is, they're going to say, wow, you're really confident. Show me. And then based on your relationship with him, you can show through prayer who you know who God is based on your experiences and how Bible backs it up. That's my message tonight. That's my message. I said that to him, and he was so quiet. I still heard the background noise in my background, in my ears. I heard it because I know he hadn't hung up the phone. I didn't say anything. It must have been like a minute. I know he heard me. And he said, son, I thank you so much. When I hear something, and I know that I'm wrong, I'll admit it. I know you know God. He's your father, and he's mine too. I believe it. I said, no, you need to know it. You need to know it. This is the part what you need to know. You have to know before you can teach people what start to believe. Before you can actually become a spark to ignite other people, you already have to have a fire brewing in you so you can actually help start and ignite that. And he said, thank you. I appreciate you talking to me tonight. I'm really thankful for that. That did my heart good. That did my heart good. We prayed together. And we hung up the phone. It did my heart good to know that I helped the leader. As iron sharpens iron, I know this helped. This helped me become sharper too, because I'm using this information to help. I'm sure I'll be able to use this to help other people as well. This message is being used to help other people. This interaction with him, with this person who initially called me to start a confrontation, has now become a spark to help be a blessing to somebody listening to this out there right now. This is a good Friday night. This is a great Friday night. I love it. I love it. I hope you're having a great night. Hey, you may not be listening to this on a Friday night. You might be listening to this backlogged on another day during the week. But I know this is going to be a blessing to you if you let it just sink in and absorb in you. Because it's become a blessing in me. God bless y'all. Have a great night. Oh, I got a smile on my face. Oh my gosh, this is awesome. This is awesome. I love y'all. Have a great night. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.